Awesome. Is this working? Yes. So guys, can you just jump right in? Let's do it. Asher, do you want this vest? Because I think it'd be more appropriate, right?
I definitely feel weird up here without a vest right now.
Amazing. Amazing.
VC panel.
How are they going to know you're a VC, right?
Exactly. He's the founder. I'm the VC here.
It's because I'm the newest one up here. That's why.
No, awesome. First of all, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me and joining us today here in Amsterdam. It's awesome, and it's great to see that we have a packed house here. So let's get right into it. We actually have Asher here. He wants to make some cool announcements. So I would like to start with you. Can you please obviously introduce yourself and also share some big alpha with us?
Thank you, Jan. So I'm going to make a very quick announcement here, which we're going to formally announce to the press on Tuesday, but we want to announce it to the Ordinals community first. My name is Asher. I'm a portfolio manager at a proprietary trading firm in Chicago called Consolidated Trading. And with my partners, I'm launching the first Ordinals liquid trading fund.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And we're going to be trading inscriptions, interesting Satoshis, and Bitcoin-based tokens. I'm extremely proud to announce who the partners are. The partners are UTXOmgmt, including Tyler to the left, Isabel, Fox, and Duke, formerly of the Ord core team,
Nice.
and Domo, the creator of the BRC20 fungible token standard.
Yeah.
We're extremely excited to be putting institutional money to work to support this incredible ecosystem. Thank you very much, Jan. We're excited for the panel.
So everybody be nice to Asher and the whole team because they're going to be buying your bags, okay? So just be really nice to them. Trevor, go ahead. Introduce what you do. Obviously, everybody probably knows you, but let's do it.
Yeah, I'm Trevor Owens, managing partner of the Bitcoin Frontier Fund, also co-hosted the Ordinal show with Jan, and yeah, excited to be here, guys. The energy is electric. The weather just turned to a sun for Ordinals Day here, so let's have a good one, guys.
Let's go. Tyler?
And I'm Tyler Evans. I'm one of the co-founders of BTC Inc. So I've been in the Bitcoin ecosystem on the media side, Bitcoin Magazine for a long time. I am a managing partner of UTXOmgmt, which is our investing business. We've got a couple different funds we manage there on the illiquid and liquid side, including an early stage VC fund where we have already made a number of investments into great Ordinals companies, and we're looking at all the exciting stuff happening on top of Bitcoin right now.
Amazing. So, obviously, we should go a little bit deeper into like the venture capital landscape on Bitcoin, but obviously Ordinals. So, Trevor, I want to start with you. So, you have been pretty upfront about your thesis, and what you're really interested in, but like after like these 9 months of craziness that was happening in Ordinals, has your thesis evolved in any way? Are you seeing something now that you didn't see before? Like, is there something that you're really excited about right now, or what you want to see happening here from the builder perspective and as an investor, obviously?
Yeah, so I mean, I spent most of my career in Web 2 and then came back really full time into the Bitcoin ecosystem in 2021. And it just seemed obvious to me that there was some actual legitimate things happening in Web3 and on Ethereum, and that those things would 100% not only come to Bitcoin, but potentially be massively bigger on Bitcoin. And it's crazy to me that this is a contrarian viewpoint, that like people will actually build amazing stuff on Bitcoin L1 or on other layers on Bitcoin. And I think Ordinals was like a massive turning point for proving that this old idea, this was such an old idea that innovation would, that Ethereum would be the test net, that things would happen there and then we'd bring it back to Bitcoin. The idea that there's so many funds out there who are still blind to what's happening is just absolutely crazy. It's one of the biggest opportunities maybe in our lifetime as builders, as investors, to have such an asymmetric opportunity. And so for all of you guys who are out there who are building on Ordinals, like really cherish it. This is an unprecedented opportunity. Things are only going to get accelerate from here in terms of capital coming in terms of more competition, more people building great solutions in terms of a real turning point for how far this technology can go beyond the store of value use case, which honestly becomes even more powerful the more use cases that we have on Bitcoin. For me, the big thing is that a lot of the innovation we're seeing can now happen like starting on L1, like how Ordinals did. And then eventually, like even on Ethereum is going to become only a settlement layer. The more people start to come into this space, we just can't support that many users on blockchain technology. So there's going to be a beautiful ecosystem of different applications built here. And starting on L1 now, when there's very little competition, and it's like, in the bull market, $1 trillion liquidity base and hundreds of millions of users, like, man, what an incredible opportunity to be alive. And I think we should all just cherish that. Like the other VCs, it's crazy that they're not here. They're going to be, VCs are followers. Okay. Like if if you're a good entrepreneur, if you're a great entrepreneur, you start another company. If you're a good entrepreneur, you become a VC, and so, and most VCs haven't even started companies. So we'll see the follower VCs come in after us, the guys you see up here, my peers here. These are very forward-looking people, and the more capital is going to come in soon. And for those builders who are here now, it's the people who are building in the bear market. All of the companies that are most successful in the last bull run, they were building well before that bull run. And so if you're here now building, you're in the right place, and you have so much opportunity in front of you.
Amazing.
Jan, can I comment on that really quick?
Sorry?
Can I comment on that just?
Of course. I actually have a question for you, but yeah, go ahead first.
This will be fast. I just wanted to say that I think, Trevor, you're making a really good point about the other VCs. And I just wanted to emphasize how they've even named themselves in a way that's going to make it very hard for them to come to terms with what's happening right now on Bitcoin. And I won't call anybody out specifically, but what I mean is they express their philosophy of the blockchain ecosystem and how it should function in their name itself. And I would just add that we are trying to do that also in Unbroken Chain. We're trying to express that we believe that we should be building on Bitcoin. And I guess all I would add is I think that just makes it that much bigger of an opportunity for all the builders in the room.
100%.
Yeah. And, I actually had a question for you, right? Because obviously, you just started a new fund, which is specifically focusing on inscriptions and ordinals, as you said, liquid stuff. So like why? What was the reasoning? Could you tell us a little bit more? Like why didn't you decide, okay, let's invest in venture instead, in ordinals and Bitcoin? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What was like your thesis?
Yeah, good question, Jan. So a few things there. Mainly, it's because of my experience. So I'm a portfolio manager, analyst, trader at a prop firm. My track record is 5 years of institutional trading. So I've done 13 venture investments for the firm. But the truth is, my focus and my specialty is actually trading and timing the market. So I thought that was the thing that I could offer the ecosystem the most. Also, there are already pretty incredible pioneers like Tyler and Trevor that are paving the way on that. And we want to be there and support them through Unbroken Chain as well. But really, we want to focus on the liquid side. The other piece is that we believe that we can demonstrate a track record more quickly this way. And we want to do that so that we can, in the future, raise more money.
Awesome. And so for you, Tyler, you have been in the Bitcoin ecosystem for how long? 10 plus years?
10 years now,
Yeah.
2013.
And so you have basically seen it all, right? You have seen it all when it comes to, investors not really being interested in Bitcoin and now, maybe rushing in a little bit with ordinals. So like, could you just like maybe tell us like a little bit more from your lens, investors around you in the broader Bitcoin ecosystem, what is the vibe right now? Like, are they really like, hey, we're gonna go into ordinals, or they're still like just poking around and like trying to figure it out and like kind of learning from you as a pioneer?
Yeah, it's really interesting how, in a lot of ways, Ordinals has kind of kicked off, once again, kind of a cultural shift or cultural divide, if you will, within the Bitcoin community. And what's been, such a fun part of this movement, this energy for me to watch is that, Bitcoin used to have this super robust culture of experimentation and innovation. And even going back to, Omni and Counterparty and colored coins and all the things that were predated Ethereum and the entire Web3 crypto universe that's developed. All those ideas came from Bitcoiners, and a lot of them were tried on Bitcoin initially. And there was a culture where that was fun and exciting, and people were talking about it on Bitcoin talk forums, and people were trying new things. And that Bitcoin culture changed a lot over the years. Changed with the scaling wars, with the forex, with a lot of the things that the community's been through, which have really built and strengthened the values of Bitcoin and kind of the tenets that will never be changed, like the 21 million limit, kind of some of the cultural principles around small blocks, usage of block space. But what that did is, in a lot of ways, because of that cultural shift, the Bitcoin community was one where the developers who wanted to try new things had to go elsewhere, where it was easier to build on other chains, where there's a more accepting culture, where there's better developer tooling, where there was just more possibilities. And in the Bitcoin community, particularly in the investing community, I think as a part of this cultural shift, there was kind of a big blind spot created where if you were focused on Bitcoin, you kind of had to stick to your lane, and a lot of people, for better or for worse, chose to tune out what was happening in the broader crypto ecosystem. And we've really tried to take a different approach where I've been focused on Bitcoin, but where there's so much we can learn from the other chains, all the experimentation, R&D, product market fit that you have created in the wider ecosystem, and let's learn from that and bring the best parts of that fit the Bitcoin principles and build on those. And so that's really kind of the approach we've taken. And the Bitcoin renaissance, I think, has passed by a lot of the existing Bitcoin investor crowd. But what it's done is it's also opened the floodgates where now venture firms and investors I talk to who never paid attention to Bitcoin for the last 3 or 4 years are also starting to pay attention to Bitcoin. So I think
100%.
we're going to see a much larger ecosystem where Bitcoin's an investable asset class now for every VC or asset manager, not just kind of the smaller Bitcoin community.
Yeah, and just a follow-up question for you on that. So, you have been investing in Bitcoin companies for a long time now. Would you say that now, for the past year, with everything that's happening with Ordinals, you guys actually sped up in terms of like how much you deploy, how quickly you deploy, how many more companies to invest in? Like you don't have to share any specific numbers, but at least are you guys more active right now than
100%?
Awesome.
Yeah. No, we've done venture investing for a while, but usually as angels or one-off deals that we've done with BTC Inc. But this time, when we saw the opportunity here, we actually decided to launch a fund around it for the first time, and we've done more deals this year probably than in the last 10 years combined.
Wow, that's awesome.
Fucking go.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
That's awesome. So Trevor, we have a lot of builders here. So let's basically look at it, from their angle. Like they're probably trying to pitch to you. They're trying to get money from you guys. So how should they approach you right now? What do you think is the way to kind of get into your accelerator? Get into basically conversation with you as an investor. What do you think is the best way?
Yeah, I think the best place to find customers, investors, partners, et cetera, is definitely going to be on Twitter. I mean, there's a reason that we put so much effort into the Ordinal show twice a week. It seems like there's just such a big community that is hyper connected, and information travels super fast on Twitter. So, I love to see founders that are active. I love to see founders who, just come on our show and just talk about technology that they're interested in, that try to contribute positively to the community. And then I think it's just you just got to hustle. If you see somebody you're at the Bitcoin Magazine conference and you see Cathie Wood, you see Jack Dorsey walk by you, you had better go pitch them. You better not let them walk out the door. We had a founder in our portfolio where he I was in a meeting with them at one of the hotels in Miami, and Cathie Wood goes up to the desk, and I look at him and I say, "What the fuck are you doing talking to me right now. Get up and go. And then he just went over, he pitched Kathy Wood, he jumped in the taxi with her, and then he's having a meeting with her in her, like the head of her fund for their venture side, a month later. And so I love to see that hustle. I love to see like that passion. I think you want to really have a well-balanced team when you start a company. Like the worst thing that you can do when you're starting a company is try to pick people that just like are either comfortable or available. Like you should be thinking, who are the 5 best people I've ever worked with in my life? And then you should be calling them one by one to pitch them to join you to do something. Even if they say no or even doesn't work out now, maybe they can join you later. But it's really important that you shoot for the stars, not just with your business, but also with the team that you're building. Have that great team with a balanced skill set. You have what we call the hacker, the hipster, the hustler, which is the back end coding person, the product person who's good at front end and polish, and then of course the CEO who's going to bang down every door and jump in Kathy Wood's taxi and pitch her. And like try to be hyper focused. You have to say no to so many different things. There are so many opportunities. Of course, you need to be able to pivot quickly as well, which is very hard to know when and how to pivot, if like you keep going the same direction or not. But you always have to be on the pulse of what's happening, and you have to be super focused. Say no to so many things. Ideally, your product has like one killer feature, because if you can build a product around one killer feature, everything else becomes easy for you. What is always a challenge is when you're building too many things, you're building multiple products or multiple businesses. I see it every time. Like you end up moving so slowly if you spread yourself too thin, that someone else like a team comes in and does every other thing that you're doing, but better than you. You need to be the best in the world at one thing. It's not how many features your product has, it's how many world-class features your product has. So, focus, try to build an incredible team, be active, be passionate, and literally opportunities are going to come to you. I'm going to be chasing you at the conference. You're not going to be chasing me.
Awesome. Before I go to Asher, if you guys have any question, we're going to have maybe like 3-4 minutes at the end. Like I would love to give you an opportunity to ask. So please prepare your questions and just, let me know. Asher, we share the socks here. Okay. So, so you're really into it. I like that.
Guys,
it's
guys.
three. Tyler, that was miscommunication here. Okay.
Man, I'm glad I'm part of the club in some way.
Awesome. So, obviously, I don't necessarily even want you to name specific collections that you're into, but, you mentioned the thesis that you're interested in even rare sets and stuff like that. But could you actually like give us a little bit more insight into like how are you looking at inscriptions and like, what things are really interesting for you, as a fund or even as like this kind of institutional collector?
Sure, yeah. And let me just add, before I get into that I was inscribing personally under 10,000. So this fund, it comes out of the fact that I'm an avid Ordinals user and collector and believer personally. And as far as the thesis, I don't want to get super specific about that because I don't want to have an impact on the market. But what I'd say is that some of the areas that we're super interested in are probably obvious. One, we're interested in what we consider to be historically significant inscriptions. That can be because an inscription has a low number. That can be because it's significant art. Or that could be like, OCM Dimensions because it's just incredibly technically innovative. So, that's one area. And then, the other piece that I would say that I didn't get to touch on before, Jan, that I'd add is the reason that we're so convicted in this is because we, as Trevor had touched on, we deeply, deeply believe that these use cases are proven already. Just like Trevor said, that, as a long-term Bitcoin maximalist, somebody who's been trading Bitcoin personally since 2013, I've been waiting for this renaissance and for this culture to come back to my community so that I can build within it. Now that we have that opportunity, I'm extremely excited, and my genuine belief, and I wrote this in a investment thesis that was published in Bitcoin Magazine, is that the best of everything is going to migrate to this ecosystem. So the best artists are going to come here. The best developers are going to come here. The best token designers are going to come here. The best investors are going to come here. The best activists are going to come here. And because of that, my belief is that, not only will we accrue more value to the assets within the ecosystem, but then you add on top of that the fact that there's twice as much value locked in Bitcoin than there is in Ethereum. And from my perspective, you have the most exciting investment opportunity of my lifetime.
Awesome. Guys, do you have a...
Yeah, I love that. I think we already have so many of the best, literally in this room, guys. So many of the best
Totally.
people, best developers, smartest people, best looking people in this room.
Man, we're doing push-ups on the other stage, like 30 minutes ago. So we have some fit people here too. So does anybody have any question over there? I think Erin, she will give you a mic. So let's do like 1 or 2 questions.
Thank you. Asher, this one's for you. Given that you're going to be deploying capital into a fairly new and small market, I come from a VC background. I was a controller for a bunch of venture capital funds that specifically invest into crypto. During, I would say, like 2020 through 2022, NFTs were a very hot topic. Going through audits was chaos, but the one thing that I found over the course of time was the illiquid issues that they ran into trying to put $1 million into an NFT collection and then eventually exit. Just curious kind of how you're thinking about that, trying to deploy a large amount of capital into maybe a fairly smaller niche space right now. Obviously, long-term Ordinals probably has legs, but just curious how you're approaching that now.
So it's a hard question and a good question. I'll say up front that there's for sure a risk that we invest in a bunch of inscription and Ordinals-based assets, and then there's no liquidity to buy them from us. That's, of course, the risk. From our side, that's the risk that we're willing to take to be first doing it because we think there's the most upside there in taking that risk. But that said, we're extremely liquidity sensitive. We monitor volume of individual collections. We monitor volume of marketplaces. We monitor the volume of the ecosystem overall. We monitor the volume of particular ERC20 tokens, and then the marketplaces that trade them. So I guess what I would say about that is that's something that trading digital assets professionally for 5 years I've had to face often. Trading on Bittrex, trading altcoins. I mean, I know a lot of people in this room have been there. I am a maximalist, but I have traded alts professionally. And sometimes, you're dealing with markets where you can only, take out or put in, very limited amounts of liquidity in a given day or a given week or in a given month. And you do have to be sensitive to that. And the last thing I'll say is sometimes when you're talking about markets that are as nascent as this, and this is probably something you already know, we can look at the data and we can incorporate the data as best as we're able. But the truth is sometimes the only way to figure out how much liquidity you can put in or take out of a market is to test the waters.
Awesome. We're running out of time, but if anybody has a quick question here, Murray, let's do it real quick.
All right, so I got a short question. Can you guys give me some examples of companies that used the money they got from you in a very smart way? Because the space is young and I'm curious of some success stories, basically.
Tyler, Trevor, you want to take these?
We've invested in some great companies that are represented here in the room. I would really direct you to talk to those teams and founders. Like we're backers of Ordinals bot. We're participating in the Xverse round.
Let's go.
We've got a few more in the room here. So every team is kind of unique. I would say we see the majority of salary of things, and I think development for all these in kind of this builder product heavy things, and I think that's the right place to be in kind of this builder bear market, and wait as the market comes, and then we'll see that shift more towards marketing and new user growth.
Do you want to quickly comment,
I mean,
Trevor?
I would say like your goal is always to raise as much money as possible at the best valuation that you can. Like that's your job as a CEO, is like to be always selling your shares higher and higher. And I think that like, while speed is incredibly important in this industry, you don't really get speed from like hiring tons of people or adding more and more engineers. You really get it from like focus and understanding how to launch an MVP and how to like cut scope and how to structure product development and feedback. Like some of these things are way more important for your actual speed, is like your clarity and your judgment. And so like the best companies in our portfolio typically have like a very, very long runway. Like probably is like, as soon as you start to have like 6 months of runway left, like the wheels start to fall off. Like people start to look at the door being like, is my job secure? You know, Xverse had very long runway. I think you guys were even like profit. I don't know if I can say this, but you guys are like profitable before even maybe raising. And so like, that's like, of course you don't need to be profitable, like, but like try to have like 12 months of runway, 10 months of runway at all times. And you have to be like able to cut like expenses before like things get bad. Like as soon as you start to get to 6 months, you need to be able to cut back up to like 10 or 12. And then, you know, in this market, it's like all about just surviving. Like right now, it's like we're all just surviving and waiting for the next bull run. And so if you like raise money now and you spend too much and you can't like make it to that next bull run, that could be like the worst thing to happen to you. So I think, you know, pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But actually, it's like kind of like the Tour de France. Like you need to be like sprinting at certain parts, but also like knowing that you can go the distance.
One thing I'd jump on there too is like spend as little money as you can until you have product market fit. And you'll know when you have product market fit. So it's all about lean iteration, fast iteration loops until you really have product market fit, and then you can start pouring gas on the fire there.
Yeah, 100%. Don't think that you're gonna like your 3 months of runway is gonna get you a product market fit. It's like never that clear cut like how you're gonna get to product market fit.
Awesome. We're out of time. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. One short announcement. Me and Trevor, we're going to be doing live the Ordinal show a little bit later. So if you want to join in and if you want to share your experience from this event, from this week, you know, feel free to. So we'll find us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.